Welcome into this Food City Friday, and once again we have registered dietitian Dr. Elizabeth Hall, and today she's joining us live here in the studio kitchen. Welcome back.
Thank you, Chris. It's so good to see you.
Yeah, fantastic. Holiday seasons are upon us.
I know.
There's so much going on. Everybody's kind of grabbing food where they can right now.
Definitely.
And then we're going to have those big family meals. There's some things we need to keep in mind, though, this holiday season.
Yes, and you know, Chris, sometimes the holidays can stress folks out because you are eating differently than you normally do. I mean, it's lots of delicious food that we all love, and you know, that's what it should be about. It should be about family, friends, and food, of course, but you shouldn't be obsessing over your food choices. But overall, if you can incorporate some mindfulness, I think you'll feel better overall, not only just about what you're choosing to eat, but also your health in general, because a lot of times we can get kind of sluggish and tired when we eat differently, and so incorporating some of these tips we're going to talk about today can keep that at bay.
I like that mindfulness.
Yes.
Think about it, you know, when you're reaching for that extra piece of fudge or that piece of cake or whatever it is, think about it before you do it.
Yes, being mindful about eating things in moderation, and I know that's the first thing we're going to talk about today. So portion sizes and things like that. And an easy way to do that is to just eat on a smaller plate. So I actually have the size of the plate that should be like the normal, quote-unquote normal, that we should eat on. That's about a 9-inch plate. So what that does is you'll fill it up, you know, with your favorite foods, and then when you eat it, kind of tricks your brain into thinking maybe you've eaten more than what you actually have. So a lot of your portions can be kind of more typical for what maybe you should eat, and so that way you're still enjoying things that you love and feeling full in the process.
And you also have another little trick down there with a deck of cards.
Yes, so that's what you can think of when you're trying to portion out protein specifically. So usually 3 to 4 ounces is a serving, and that's about the size of a deck of cards.
All right, very good. Some things to keep in mind.
Yes.
You have a little recipe you're going to be showing us today for a delicious dessert. Show us what you're talking about.
Yes, and another thing I love is these pre-portioned appetizers and desserts.
So you don't get a bunch, you get a pre-portion.
Exactly. Not only helps with portion size, but with COVID too. You know, you might be serving things and not want people to be touching serving utensils and all that good stuff. I'm all about that as well. So this is a Greek yogurt cheesecake recipe. I've topped it with some strawberries and little twigs of herbs. You could choose whatever herbs you like, but this is going to be a little bit lower in fat because we're using our Greek yogurt. It's also going to have more protein, but it is going to start with a little cream cheese. You know, you got to have that cream cheese. And then I have my Greek yogurt. So actually what I've used here is a full fat Greek yogurt. You could also use the lower fat options. That's typically what we recommend because it's going to be a little bit lower in saturated fat. But in desserts, a lot of times you want a little bit of extra fat.
You want that richness,
yes. You could do half and half if you'd like. So I'm going to add a little lemon juice. You don't have to add the lemon juice, but it adds a great flavor, I think. And then I have some egg in here. So this should be 1 egg and then 1 egg white. I'm making kind of a smaller recipe today.
Very good.
A little bit of sugar, and you could use a sugar substitute if you like. Like for instance, if you like to use baking stevia or something like that. And then a little bit of vanilla. So what you would do first...
remember, a little goes a long way.
A little does go a long way, especially if you're using the real vanilla and not the imitation kind. So then you would just mix all of this up. And my cream cheese should be at room temperature, but it's still a little cold. So if that's the case, you know, trying to leave it out at room temperature, that's going to help you a little bit more. And then you're going to add, all I have here is crushed graham cracker crumbs with a little bit of butter. And what you're going to do is just add a little bit to your muffin tin. And if you have time, I like to do a quick bake on this, you know, just for, you know, to 6 minutes, just to give it a little bit of time to set up before you add your topping. And you can kind of push it down in there to make sure it's nice and firm.
And then once you get this all mixed up?
Once it's all mixed up, I like to use my little scooper. That's about 1/4 of a cup. It's going to go in there, stick it in the oven at 325 or so for, you know, 20 or so minutes, and it comes out looking delicious. So
those do look really
great
good.
And festive, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And pre-portioned, so we're being mindful. All right, very good. We're going to come back here in a few moments. You're going to show us another recipe. We're going to talk more about everything that you see here on the table today, and that comes from Food City, so check out foodcity.com.